The wild Illinois basketball season continues. Cart, very up and down week. First, they were down, I think, 18 points against Northwestern. Should have looked
Hmm.
that up before just starting this episode, but that was at halftime. Boo Booey went crazy. Illinois storms back and wins that game somehow. And then now
Terrence Shannon.
well, yeah, Terrence Shannon. And then now they go at Ohio State, a team that had lost 14 out of 15 games, with a very possible chance to still have something to play for against Purdue. Like the season wasn't over. They were 2 games back in the loss column. They needed to win this and then get a little lucky with Purdue losing at the Kohl Center. Instead, the season, at least the conference race, is just over. Kind of shocked Illinois lost this game at Ohio State, to be honest. What'd you make of this?
Yeah, it's not just the fact that I think you kind of pointed out that there was something on the line in this game. And me and you have seen this Ohio State team both on TV and in person. This program is, for lack of a better term, it's a dead program. There's no pulse. Like this team is not actively trying to, or maybe they actively are trying to win games, but they are a bad basketball team. And they lost. I think they lost to Illinois lost to a team that was losers of 13 of their last 14 games, and in some of those games they really weren't close. So you have an opportunity in this game with something on the line that has something to play for in that last game at Mackey, and you come out and basically lay an egg. Ohio State controlled this game from the tip for the most part in my eyes. So I don't really know how you justify that performance. I think it's a letdown from Coach Underwood and the staff. I think it's a letdown from the players. Like it's just a letdown as a whole. And I think it's one that leaves a bad taste in their mouths and should leave a bad taste in their mouths. And hopefully they can bounce back from it. They still have a lot to play for, both with this season and with the regular season, the Big Ten tournament and beyond. But that's just a tough one to justify. I don't really know if I can provide any words of encouragement or it's okay. That's just straight up an awful loss.
Yeah. The number one thing that jumps out to me from the box score is that Dane Danger played 9 minutes. I did not watch this game intently enough to notice what happened with that. Do you know what happened with that?
No, I did because I was watching other games and
So
driving
I'm
home, so I wasn't able to
looking,
see it. I just did box score and Matthew loves b-ball in this game.
yeah, looking at Ohio State's stuff, like Akpara only played 8 minutes. So I think one of these two teams decided to just play all guards in this game. My guess would be that that was a Holtman move and that Underwood just couldn't play Danger because Danger's not going to be able to stick with Justice Suing being Ohio State's biggest player on the floor.
But at the same time, Justice Suing can't check Dane Danger in the post. I don't
Yeah,
think they don't have a post player that can check him when healthy. Like Zeki can't check Dane Danger. Either can Akbar.
no. Just a fascinating thing for me because, like, if you had told me, unless somebody got hurt and, like, the story of the game, if somebody got hurt, I'm sorry, listeners, that I did not pick up on that. But, yeah, to me, like, you don't want to let an Ohio State team just play a bunch of guards because that's the only thing Ohio State has is a bunch of guards and wings. And if you just make this a talent off, like Ohio State is one of the few teams in the conference that could actually stick with Illinois as far as talent goes at the 1 through 3 positions with Bruce Thornton and Bryce Sensabaugh. So interesting to say the least.
And if the decision was to take Danger off because they're playing all guards and they want to be better defensively, I mean, they let an Ohio State team who we saw, like I stated, already play. They let an Ohio State team shoot almost 54% from the field, and they basically don't have an offense. Like I know, like the metrics lined up with them being like I think a top 25 offense the last time I checked at least. But I'm fading Kenny Palmheim on this one. Like I saw what this offense looks like with my own damn eyes. It's terrible. It's bad. They can't hit shots and you let that team come out and shoot 54% against you. And they're also not that good defensively. We saw Iowa basically run a practice against this Ohio State team with how to score on them. Granted, that was at Carver. We know how that goes. Ooh. But I just don't understand how you come out and shoot 36% from the field, 20% from the 3-point line against this Ohio State team. That is bad defensively.
Yeah,
They're
it's
bad.
not great. It's not great at all. Yeah, I just don't know what to make of this Illinois team. I said this on After Dark the other night, but like the positive frame of this Illinois team is like, oh, they have so many different ways they can beat you. Like Coleman could have a triple-double. Matthew Meyer could be unconscious from three. Terrence Shannon could be aggressive getting downhill and making threes. Dane Danger could be cooking. Like, even Epps could have a game where he goes off. Like, they have so many dudes that play so differently from each other that's valuable. It's something that can help them when you don't know what type of team you're going to get in your draw in the NCAA tournament, right? Like, to have the flexibility to say we can win any of these different ways is a good thing objectively. It's also not what I would choose if I was building a team. I wouldn't have a team that's like, we have so many ways we can beat you. We don't know what our number one way is. That's what Illinois is.
And like this year, the teams that like I'm banking on to go far and win are like teams with like an identity, kind of like I think we actually stated this like on one of the first episodes we did with Illinois. We are like, positionless basketball is great, but there is such thing as like too positionless, like just too much going on. It's at some point you got to kind of hone in, lock in, and do like what you do. Like, you got to have an identity. I don't really know what the identity of this Illinois team is, and it's not like a slight, because I feel like when I say this team doesn't have an identity, that means like they're kind of lost or they're bad. No, I think this team is talented. The talent's there. I like Coach Underwood as a coach. I like the pieces, honestly, on this team. I just don't know how they necessarily fit or what the identity is of this basketball team. And you don't want to have identity questions when next week is March 1st. That's scary.
No, not at all.
Not to press the panic button, but that's definitely scary.
I'll press the panic button.
Oh,
well, you know what's a get right for Illinois though? Michigan comes to town. That's a get right.
Mm-hmm.
If there's ever been a get right for Brad Underwood, it's been, he gets to coach against Juwan Howard. That's not even a joke. Like,
on senior day.
I'm not saying that in jest at all. I'm genuinely saying that this is a get right game. Brad Underwood owns Juwan Howard. He is Daddy Brad, and here we are, a Michigan team that is clicking at the right time and desperately needs a road win. It'll be an interesting game, man. I don't know. I just am selling. I'm out on Illinois. I'm out on the entire Big Ten, to be honest. I don't know if we want to have that conversation in this video, except maybe Indiana. I think I'm in on Indiana, but I'm out on Purdue. I'm out on Illinois. I'm out on everybody else in this conference. Like, bunch of first round losses, maybe second round losses this year, including Illinois.
Yeah, I mean, you know where I'm at. I'm out on the whole country.
Yeah, but like, even
I'm out on college
country
basketball
though, because like you can go around the country cart like just quickly. Everybody in the Big 12 is good, even though we want to say there's no elite team. Like, we like TCU, we like Kansas State, we like Baylor, we like Texas, we like Kansas. All five of those teams could make a Final Four. We're not shocked, right?
I like guards,
right? Houston, you like guards. UCLA, Arizona, like, we like those teams. We wouldn't be shocked if those teams make runs.
I don't like Tiger Campbell.
Okay. But
sorry. I'm cutting you off from you cooking on your point. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're just like we can say the whole country's down, and I think it is, because there is no elite team. There's still like 6 teams in every conference to me that have a better chance of going deep in March than in the Big Ten. Like, if Purdue's our best hope, right? That's the team that's supposed to have national weight this season. I'm so out on that, man. I looked this up earlier today. How about this? Going back as far as you can go in college basketball reference. 1949-1950 season is the furthest back that conference records have been kept in the Big Ten. There has never been a team in Big Ten history that has only won 70% of their games or lower in conference play and won the conference outright. And that's what, if Purdue loses one more game, they go to the Kohl Center and then they host Illinois. If they lose one of those 2 games, they're going to finish 14-6. Winning 70% of their games, basically be the worst conference champion in Big Ten history.
And you know what? There's some teams out there that would kill to be the worst conference champion in Big Ten history.
Yeah, but like, worst conference champion in Big Ten history in a historically weak Big Ten. Like, if Purdue's supposed to be this national team, why didn't they go 18-2 this year? Like, and they're a fortunate team that's going to lose 6 games too. Like, they needed last possession to beat Maryland. Like, they have 3. They went to overtime with Nebraska when we were in the building. Like, this team is crazy to me. Like, I don't think there is a team in this conference that's a Sweet 16 team. And anything could happen in March. It's crazy, but like,
hey, respect Northwestern
or Michigan.
Okay.
I mean,
So,
yeah, that's all they do, right? It's all they do.
yeah, it's gonna be unbearable if your team makes it to the second weekend.
It really will be. Where does Illinois go in the future, like beyond this year? Because like I think that's more interesting than where does this team go?
They got pieces. They do. I still like their young pieces. I think we didn't get to talk about it, but I was very high on Ty Rodgers, of course, as you know, and he's really come on as of late. So you know what, I still like the young pieces on this team. I think they'll have a lot of turnover as far as who's going to stay, who's going to come back. I don't know if obviously with COVID years, I don't even try to figure out if guys have another one or not. I just figure they do. So who knows who comes back with all that situation, but I still like guys like Epps, Harris, Goody. I don't know. I've heard some things about Melendez. Who knows what he's going to do? Like Ty Rodgers a lot. Like the recruiting class they got coming in too. Like Gibbs Lawhorn is a guy.
Yeah.
Like him a lot. So they got pieces. And I think they got pieces that fit too, if that makes sense.
Here's
Like
my fear.
I think guys like Ty Rodgers you can build around.
Here's my fear.
Okay.
He's gonna just go get another Meyer and another Shannon.
See, maybe he learns from his mistakes.
But
Maybe this year shows him.
Is it even a mistake though? Because that's their best two players. Like, this is why Illinois is so weird to me. Is like we're calling Meyer and Shannon maybe a mistake. I hope he doesn't repeat it. But like,
but I do think it is their two best players. But if I could go back, me personally, I would take one or the other. I would not take them both.
And you think they're better if you just chopped one of them and had more Melendez minutes or more Rodgers minutes?
Yeah, I do.
See, I don't know, man. I think Brad has put this program in a position, rightfully so, give him credit, where he can go out and get anybody he wants. And I feel like he is going to lean too heavily into the portal. And I think I'm still kind of out. Like, I think you want one starter from the portal. I think that's what good teams should want, is one starter. You don't want two. And I feel like you look at Brad's team next year, like if Coleman goes pro, hypothetically, and Meyer and Shannon leave, like, isn't he looking for three starters from the portal? Like, he'll start Epps and Danger, I guess, Sincere Harris.
Maybe,
like,
yeah, Epps, Sincere.
I feel like he's going to hunt top tier talent again, which like should not be a bad thing, but it just doesn't work. Like, look at Pete Nance at UNC. I know he just played
maybe his hunting is a little bit, more strategic.
Okay. We'll see. I'm fascinated to see where they go because I tweeted the numbers in the Juwan Howard era. Brad Underwood is like head and shoulders as a coach ahead of everybody else, like 10 games up on everybody else in the conference. So he's found success, obviously, in the Big Ten. He's done it a bunch of different ways. This team is a good basketball team. Like, to have the stuff to come back against Northwestern and win that game was pretty special. And then to fall on your face against the team that's lost 14 out of 15 is just crazy. So the highs and lows of Illinois.
But that's Illinois basketball. I feel like that's just I guess that is what it is this year.
So who they host Michigan, like we said. And then their final game of the season is at Purdue. I mean, what a week. Michigan, probably the only team in the conference that has a tougher week than that. What happens in those games? Do they win one of two? Do they win both?
I think they go 1 and 2. I think they'll beat Michigan. I don't think they're beating Purdue at Mackey.
Okay.
Does wouldn't that mean that Purdue loses back-to-back games at Mackey too?
I don't. Well, I guess yes, because they lost Indiana.
Yeah, I don't see him losing back-to-back games at Mackey.
Yeah, that seems
Brady
like
Smith and Fletcher Lawyer are on pack watch.
Yeah, it's for another.
God forbid them boys got to see like TCU or somebody in the tournament packing them boys up.
That's for another conversation. Yeah, Purdue has now lost 4 of their last 6. Has not really beaten a good team since Michigan State, January 29th. Like, ugh. I don't know. I don't know what to make of Purdue right now, other than I don't like them. But we'll see. It sucks. We're going to be at that game. We're going to be at Illinois at Purdue next weekend. And I really want that game to mean something, but it seems unlikely. I mean, Illinois should take care of Michigan, but you need now it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Purdue won.
Did they win it outright already though? Aren't they? They still
they tweeted
They could split. If Purdue loses to Wisconsin, they'll need that game still. If Purdue beats Wisconsin, it's clinched.
Okay.
Because
So they're gonna win
actually,
it
I
outright.
don't know if you know this, Car. The Michigan Wolverines are still in the conference title race,
Hoorah.
along with Maryland, along with Indiana, and along with Northwestern as teams that are all a game and a half ahead of the Michigan State Spartans. A couple more. Rutgers, Illinois, and Iowa are all a half game ahead of the Michigan State Spartans.
Hoorah.
Hey, anytime you can finish, let me count it up real quick. 9th in the Big Ten, Cart. You got to do it these days. All right. Well, final week of the regular season. I'm looking forward to our trip to Mackey to see Illinois one more time. Love Illinois basketball. Any final words from you, Cart?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you next time.